Welcome back, guys. So it's time to create something for the eye. So let's texture the eye. So let's look for the inner eye. Okay, so our eye model. So isolating the eye model now. Some weird lining in here, but that won't matter much though, because it's not going to be very visible. So let's start by creating a new fill layer for this. We'll be filling that layer with this red color. Okay. Then wait, I need to turn off the roughness. I don't need any roughness for this. Turn off metallic also. So it should just be something like, okay, I need roughness actually, so but something like so should be fine. I think I should do this. I should do this inversely. So let me just name this to white. Turn this off for now. But I'm not going to be using a completely white texture though. So I'm going to be using something around, something close to not completely white, something somewhere around here should be fine. Something like this. Now the black marks to that. So I'm still using the dead brush, obviously. Using the dead brush. I'm going to paint in that redness in here. Let me undo that. Let me make sure symmetry is turned on for this, because one kind of work symmetrically in here. So we can be a whole lot faster. So we're increasing this some more. Something like so. So let's check how this looks on the body. So just kind of figure out how far we should kind of paint this in. Just kind of mapping out where, painting in where this should kind of end. Okay, somewhere around here. Then let's isolate this again so we know where we should kind of stop. Let's paint in somewhere around these parts. Okay. So let's paint some veins also around there. So I'm going to be using a different brush now for this. So I'm going to be using a crack brush for this crack. Something that looks a bit more like veins in here. So something like this should be fine. This what's that? Okay, crazy crack too. Then tune down the size of the brush. That's just way too big. Let's just start bashing something in here. Okay. I'll take down the flow and the opacity and paint something a bit gentle around here like so. Something like this should be fine. So let's see how that looks with the body on. Something like this seems fine. Not sure about the color of the eye though. I think something like this should be fine. Right. Okay. Yeah, this should work just fine. Then I will need to kind of start doing some painting in here on the iris. Starting something. Okay, I think I need one more. Let me duplicate this. Add the black marks. Kind of use a more or less like a bluish tone for be something around here. Using the depth brush. Just paint something around here like so. And I'll blur it out very much. So I want to blur this out very much. Something like this, and I'll take down the opacity of it. So it's not, now this looks a bit too obvious. So let's take it down a bit more. Something like so should be fine. Okay. Name this red. Probably add a blur filter to this also. Yeah, something like that should be fine. I think this should be fine. So now we can. The SSS still feels a bit much though. But since it's just for preview, we'll just leave this the way it is. So okay, turn off the body for now. Let's work exclusively in here. So let me just name this to base tone. Okay. So since we're working symmetrically, so shouldn't have too much of an issue in here. Anything we do on one side is going to directly affect the other side, which is precisely what we want. So okay. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. Drag this up here. I will remove the marks. This actually looks nice when I remove it. Okay. Let's use a black, probably a black brownish tone to it. Something around here should be fine. Let's see, and I'm going to be using a default brush for this. So let's just kind of stamp some kind of art brush in here. Or the black. Wait a minute. This is supposed to kind of float feel. Okay, yes. Okay, better. This is what we want. Or the black marks. The brush size is just way too big. Still slightly too big. Let's find a mid-range. So let's do something like 1.5 in here. Try 7. Yeah, this should be fine. So I'll just stamp this in here like so. I think we need a bit more. 5, 7.5. It should work. Something like so. Yeah, this will definitely work. So I can kind of do some kind of manual work on some of the edges, kind of make it kind of get no that's way too much, kind of get this in properly. Doesn't need to be accurately accurate though. Something like this should work just fine. Okay. Yeah, I think this should be roughly in there. Then I'd like to blur this out. I like to blur out the edge so it doesn't feel too sharp on the edge. Yeah, something like this seems like a good value. So duplicate this layer. Add the black marks in there. I would like to pick. I'm basically trying to recreate the same eye with the same color tone and everything in there. So I would like to use this color tone. Let's start with a more darker one. More darker tone to it. Something around here should be fine. So I'm not going to paint around this. Okay. So probably even be using a soft brush instead. So on this brush settings, let's tone down the hardness for this. And just do something light on the edge. Something like this is a good base. Okay. Yeah, this is a good base. So now I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I'm going to use a brighter value of this. Let's see if we can pick the color. Somewhere around here. Add the black marks. So I'll just paint on the edges like so. Reduce the opacity on the flow. Reduce the opacity even more. Something around here like so. Then I'll just try to paint manually on some of these edges. Okay, then I'll blur it out. Something pretty much like this. I believe it should be affecting the other side, so yeah, that's fine. So now I'm going to add like another dark tone on top of this, but using the, using the using a darker shade to it. So I'll duplicate this base we had before, drag this up here, this dark tone, so add the black marks. Then in there, I'm going to put this completely to more or less like a full black. Then I will add, maybe name this to dark red. Light, let's say light red. Let's just use light red instead. I'm not very good with colors. Okay, it's a good base. So I'll start to, where is it now? Okay, this is it here in here. So I'm going to add a generator in there. I'm going to be using the curvature generator in here. So right off the bat, we have something like this. So let's go to the max. We need to use the max for this. Turn on curvature. Let's try cavity in here. Yes, this is a good one. Let's see what this gives us. This is obviously way too much though, so we need to start adjusting this. Let's try the balance. Let's take down the balance. Okay, I like to get the size of this texture resolution to 4K so we can see this a bit better, at a better quality. So let's take down this fine. Sharp. Let's see if that completely removes everything. Let's see what we have. Yeah, this is getting more interesting. So we have something that kind of eats through like this, which is actually fine. You can actually leave this like so. Okay, this looks like it will work just fine for what we need it for. Except maybe I might want to use a more, let me duplicate this layer, probably pick this color in here, then just increase the brightness for this. Something pretty much like this, but the idea is that I have control over this, so I can actually blend between just picking different colors and then just trying to make it work. Let's say for example now I'm going to use a more bluish tone to it. Let's say I'm going for somewhat of a bluish islands. You have any bluish islands character in here that you can just unpick colors from. Yeah, something like this. Let's say for example now I'm going to pick colors from this, so let's say you want to use a more bluish tone for him. So this is kind of where we're going to just change up. Let me group this. So this is where we can just use like, name this to let's see, color. Okay, here iris color. I name this to iris color instead. Iris color. Alright. Let me name this to dark red. Okay, so let's see. Should probably have another idea. Should probably put no, this should be fine. Yeah, this should be fine. So let's say I duplicate this now. I want to go for a more bluish tone for him, for the eyes. I can just easily think I have this. Let me delete this. I'll just start with this. Let me turn this off for now. I'll just start with this and give this a more bluish tone. Something like this. Maybe push this somewhere like here should be fine. Then turn this back on. This particular tone I will just use, start by picking this undertone in here like so, and just make it a bit brighter, something like this. So from a distance we should be having something like this. So with this now you can just easily change the overall tone for everything without so much of an issue. So this just work just fine for a stylized character eye. It doesn't have to be extremely. Oh, something is weird in here. This bluish. What's this bluish? Should probably blur this out even more. Okay, I lost the blur. Gonna add filter blur in here. Blur this out some more. Maybe that's way too much. Something like should be fine. Maybe kind of add some more tone to it. Yeah, something something pretty much like this should just do the trick. If you want to add some more darker tones in the middle, that's completely fine. You can do that if you want to. So if I should turn on, let's add some shadows in here. But should I turn on this and add some shadows in here? Should be having these shadows is just weird though. Probably because of the glass we have in there. But something pretty much like this should work just fine. Let me just do a quick save. But something pretty much like this should work just fine. If you want to kind of want to do like another extra layer of detailing in here, you can do. Let me turn off this shadowing. You can do something like, let's say I create a new, let me just duplicate this and just name this to white, and just change this color tone to an almost white, something like this. Add the black marks. So with the brush now I can just add like some streaks of white in here. Let's take down the size of this brush. Let's go something around 0.08. So I can start. So the idea would just be just to follow this. Since I need something small, I need a smaller brush size, 5. So the idea would be just to follow this streak pattern in here that we kind of blocked in here. Also would like to add some blur to this dark shade we added on top. Not too much though. We still want that to be clearly visible in there. Let's see if we can do black. Yeah, something like that should work. Probably duplicate this again just to have this a bit darker in there. Something like this should be fine. Then back to the white streaks, so we can just continue adding some white, making sure you're kind of pulling the line sort of. Doing this, you can actually do this with curvature though, but I want to have some kind of control over this. So this is just kind of give it some kind of highlight from a distance, kind of. Probably increase the opacity of the brush some more, and add some brighter ones somewhere. And that's just way too long. Something like so. Maybe a little bit more around. Once kind of make sure it has some shape to it. It needs to have some shape to it. Something like this. Alright, so probably you should even use this blue eye, because this blue eye feels and looks a bit more interesting. So you can also use the same idea for some realistic eye setup also if you want to. But I think this is a good one to go with. So it should be just fine. So let's go back to the outer eye and give this outer eye some glass shader in here. So selecting it, I'll come down to the shader settings. I like to use not the test mode, PBR roughness with alpha blending. So this is for the glass material. Okay. Then we have to make sure the texture set is actually selected. Then come to the texture set. Let's add opacity in here. So glass is kind of a bit different inside of written glass is a bit different inside of Substance Painter. So it's more or less like an hack I use for it. So let's make sure it's opaque, like so. So I will increase the roughness, then increase the metallic for it also. Make this completely metallic so you can actually see some reflection in there, something like so. Then something pretty much like this should be fine. Yeah, I think this should be just fine. So we can now go in and let's turn on the body again. Whoa, this guy looks pretty scary. But that's fine. Probably we'll tilt it a bit more later on, but for the most part this should work pretty much just fine for what we need it for. Okay. Right, so that's how we go about texturing this eye set. Let's just think I would like to just texture the glasses too, so you can get that So we can get that in once and for all. So I'm just going to use a plastic material for this. So let me just use a plastic. Which one is this? Oh, kind of looks interesting. Maybe not. Maybe I don't really need something like this. Let's use this instead. The plastic gloss. Put this is something around here like so. Decrease the roughness a bit. No. I think a smart mark should be better. Smart material should be better. So don't have to do too much work in there. Plastic gloss. Plastic glossy. Need something that has some kind of. Yes, this should be fine. Now just change the color for this to something black. Yeah, this should be fine. Then in here also I like to use this. Okay, it's already on a rough. Okay, should be fine. Can't really see my SSS anymore working in here. Probably because we changed the. Where's that body? Probably because we changed the shader for this, so SSS is no longer working in there. Probably this alpha blending mode does not work with SSS. But it doesn't really matter that much though. I've already figured out and kind of seen how it looks like with SSS, and that's completely fine, so no need. Let's just get this. Just get this glass material in here. So I would like to copy the glass material from the outer eyes. Let me just name this to glass. I'll copy this. So eyeglass. Then we would just paste this in here. So it won't work because I've not added the channel in there. So let's add that channel in there. Add the black marks in here. So we should be using mesh fill. I'll just fill this mesh instead. So symmetrical, so that's fine. So now I kind of have some glass texture in there. So maybe I should even adjust the opacity of this glass a bit more. Probably get this slightly tinted like so. Right. Awesome. Okay, so this will be just fine. So I'll see you guys in the next lesson where we'll continue to texture the other parts of the model. So thank you guys for watching, and bye for now.